is improving. The only thing that is not really showing improvement is the drought situation around the Pueblo County areas. So the current update, what came out on Tuesday, what was published yesterday, shows some growing drought now into southern and southeast El Paso County. Look at the week update. So last week, we only had this area around Pueblo County that was showing some drought. And then the update for today shows a lot more broad drought, with areas in southern Pueblo County and Otero County probably next to join in the severe drought. So drought is actually growing in the eastern plains, but it has remained unchanged in the mountains. There's goods and bads. It's bad for the farmers in that means more water needed for their crops, more water usage is bad for the state, and then it's also just harder to grow some stuff. The good news with less drought in the mountains, obviously, is that a forest fire is harder to fight than a grass fire. Now, we'll talk about what we're seeing out the door this morning. Breezy, but red flag warnings kick in later today when we get warmer, when we get more windy. We have above average temperatures we're expecting through the weekend, and we're staying really warm into next week, with fire danger expected sporadically over the next week itself. Temperatures today, we're in the 20s and we're in the 30s, and so we're actually looking pretty good through the morning here. Now the wind gusts are in the 10 to 20 mile per hour range across the eastern plains. And as we get a look at the futurecast winds, we've got Monument through Pueblo, Trinidad included, and everybody out east with some pretty gusty southerly flow. That's one of the things we're tracking out through time. High temperatures today are set to be in the 60s and 70s. So a pretty warm day, for sure warmer than the last 2 days, but we actually look even better into next week. Now, I know that the weekend will be very similar to today. So mid-60s today, tomorrow mid-60s, but with a little bit more of our cloud cover. So that's one of the changes. In Pueblo, we have mid-70s today and tomorrow, or low 70s today and tomorrow. Very similar temperatures, just more clouds on Saturday. With your next 7 days, the weekend stays very steady. We have a lot more sunshine from Monday to Wednesday, and we get a lot hotter. In fact, Tuesday and Wednesday, we're within heat record territory. You know, as the climate warms, it's easier for us to beat these past records, and more often than not, in the warmer months, we get heat records. We don't really break cold records as easy anymore. In Pueblo, we have 70s through Saturday and Sunday, and then we're pretty confident Wednesday we will break the record high. The record high for next Wednesday is like 83. We're forecasting 88. So it is a substantial warm-up, close to 90 on Wednesday. Bree's very excited about all this heat because she's just awful. We've got 60s on Saturday and Sunday for Canyon City, and then some 80s back into Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm fine with those like lower 80s. It's closer to 90s where Bree and I do a hard split. So like Woodland Park, this is my kind of forecast next week. 60s and 70s, that's great. But no, my wife too. With Bree, that's too cold.